Guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 8 for DraftKings Reignmakers. I'm going to walk you through some of what I think are the best plays on this slate. We're going to go over 3 of the superstar players that project super high this week, and then we're going to go through each of the positions: quarterback, running back, and pass catcher, wide receivers and tight ends, where I'm going to talk about some non-superstar players that you can play along with those superstar plays to give you the best chance at winning this week. So let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smiz Gang Listener League is up for week 8. It is a no-rake tournament, and you will not find it in the DraftKings lobby. You have to go to smizzle.tv/links to find the link to this, as well as everything else I do. Best Buys is posted on ESPN. All of my socials. Follow me on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram. Jump into our Discord, all of it. All of that is through smizzle.tv/links. A $10 tournament with 3 max entries and absolutely no rake. The best tournament on DraftKings. We got to fill it. 5,000 entries. We got to get all 5,000 of these sold out by kickoff, or they're going to make it smaller for week 9 and beyond. So reserve your seats early and make sure that if you want to, you do your missions and get yourself some extra crowns so you can make it like a negative rate. It's like instead of paying $10, you might pay like $9.50 for your entry. I will shout out the top 10 finishers on Monday on the recap video right here on the Al Smizzle Fantasy Football channel. Davante Adams. I tried to pick cards. I was very specific with like the card choices that I made. Davante Adams is the top projected superstar on the main slate, with so many great players and teams off the main slate this week. We've got the Chiefs, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Buccaneers, the Bengals, the Bills, all off the main slate. That means all of those cards are not playable in the Fiat Frenzy or in whatever tournament you are choosing to play. So I went with the silver and black core prize set Davante Adams with all of the confetti behind him. You can see the prices for his cards. The cheapest one right now is around $11 if you play at core. Obviously those prices go up. Usually there's some flexible multipliers, right? So let's say like 3 to 4 times to go to the rare card, then it's another like 10x to go up to elite, then it's like 3x 4x whatever to get up from there to legendary, and then Reignmaker is where like the most pricey cards are. So you get in where you fit in and play against people in your same sort of spend level. I play mostly at the legendary and Reignmakers tier, and I really don't want to sit there grinding out core lineups. It's just not worth the juice. Is not worth the squeeze for a really high stakes player to try and grind out an extra $40 in core. So DraftKings has done a very good job of herding the higher stakes players into higher stakes games to leave the lower stakes players around to have their fun and be able to make money and thrive in the core and the rare tiers themselves. Cooper Kupp every week. Like, it doesn't even matter. So yes, they have a tough matchup collectively as a team going up against the San Francisco 49ers. But if you take into account the 4 games now that they have played against the San Francisco 49ers since the beginning of 2021, when Cooper Kupp made his ascension to fantasy god, he's averaging like 5 more PPR points per game in games against San Francisco than he is against the rest of the league, where he's averaging like 30 points per game. He's averaging like 35, 36 points a game. Like, how can you not play Cooper Kupp? I know that San Francisco has a great defensive line and they're going to put a lot of pressure on Matthew Stafford, but like, does it even matter? They did that in the first game. He had 14 catches on 19 targets. So just play Cooper Kupp this week, okay? If you want to look at what his cards cost at the core level, like I said, it's very easy to build core lineups for like, let's say, but you could build a stellar core lineup just on cards I'm talking about in this video, the most optimal cards, for like $40 to $70. And you get to play those cards not just this week, but every week until the end of this season. So you're basically buying your entry fee, as there's no entry fee on any of the tournaments here. So like $18, $16 for a Cooper Kupp core. That's some alliteration for you. He's up to like $80 at the rare tier. Elite gets a little pricey. $700 is his cheapest card there. If you're playing higher, you're going to pay higher. Derrick Henry with a ridiculous matchup. Now, Derrick Henry did not play against the Houston Texans last year. They've been a team for the last, let's see, 2020, 2021, and 2022 that we have streamed running backs against. Sometimes teams improve over time against positions and position versus defense sort of rankings, right? DVP, defense versus positional rankings. In 2020, the Houston Texans allowed 5.2 yards per carry to opposing running backs. So they were pretty bad then. And that year, Derrick Henry ran for something like 450 yards and 4 touchdowns in the 2 games that he played against Houston. Well, in 2022, Houston's allowing 5.23 yards per carry against opposing running backs. Derrick Henry is set up to absolutely slaughter the Texans this weekend. And taking a look at his card prices, doesn't cost you that much. I recommend building through a quarterback double stack bring back. Even in Reignmakers with the smaller 5-man lineups, it's just an easy way for you to correlate and build lineups. Now, you're going to have to do it because Henry does carry superstar status with him, so you can only play one superstar per lineup, but like it's $13. Like Cooper Kupp for a core Cooper Kupp was more. It was $5 more. You can get a Derrick Henry for $13. Play him basically every week as your running back moving forward and wrap non-superstar stacks around him if you wanted to go that route, and have yourself a guy who's getting 30 opportunities a game, massive touchdown upside, 100-yard bonuses, and all of it. You're gonna have to go up to like $60 at the core tier, $500 at the elite tier. He is a underpriced superstar, but the superstars are going to change. He won't lose his superstar status, but some other players that may not have it right now at quarterback and at wide receiver might get it. So these non-superstar quarterback doubles are going to change starting in week 9 on DraftKings. If you wanted to stay up to date with everything there is to know in the market, surround yourselves with a couple hundred people talking about Reignmakers pretty much at all hours during the day. The Reignmaker channel in our Discord, which is token locked behind the Smizzgang HQ key, is that place. 0.1 Ethereum on OpenSea. I recommend you go through my link to get it, as OpenSea will always have like accounts and spoof accounts. It's in the link tree, smizzle.tv/links. Just go to the Smizzgang HQ key link there, or you can get directly there by going to smizzle.tv/HQ. And when you join the Discord at smizzle.tv/Discord, if you have the coin, you go to the Collabland bot, you link the two things, your name turns purple from white in the Discord, and you get access to our entire Discord community with all of my investment advice in the market. And we have definitely done a good job of beating the market, especially on quick flip exchanges when the floor melts and you can like 2x, 3x, 5x on a trade. Discord is where you want to be for that. Make sure that you pick up the HQ coin to get access to all of those Smizzgang NFT HQ channels. Jalen Hurts is a non-superstar. He ain't going to stay that way for long. This may be the last week. Week 8, week 9, they start changing the superstars. There's no way that Jalen Hurts is not going to be a superstar moving forward. Now, what that is going to do to the prices, as you see, the superstar prices aren't that expensive in relation to some of the other cards that you're going to see as we move on in this video who are not superstars and don't project to be so as the season goes along. At the lower tiers, since you cannot move a superstar up, a rare Jalen Hurts cannot play in elite contests. You can only play in rare contests or below. So you can play, if you have a Jalen Hurts card, when he becomes a superstar, he will only be able to play in rare or core contests. Currently, if you have a Jalen Hurts, you could play him up in elite contests. Pretty smart thing to do since he averages like 25 fantasy points per game. The price on him has been ridiculously high, but has seemed to have come down in expectation that he is going to be a superstar. Again, rightfully so. $24 for his core card, $110 for his rare. Very powerful. The quarterbacks, since you need one in every single lineup, and there are only so many of them, especially only so many that average 22 or more fantasy points a game. The high level elite quarterbacks for fantasy maintain high prices even if they have superstar status to them, though the ones that don't, like Joe Burrow, who's not on this slate, they get a higher price because they can be played up with superstars that go along with them, like Jamar Chase, so on and so forth. Our next player on the list does not have superstar and will not get it. Tua Tagovailoa is back and is probably going to be one of the most sought after cards on the week with his non-superstar to play along with everybody else that's on his team. They play against Detroit. Fantastic matchup. Big time upside here. Tournament winning upside here with a Tua double stack. The prices on his cards, only $16. Less than the Jalen Hurts. Like I said, $67, $70 at the rare tier. Elite starts to go up a little bit more. But the fact that you're going to be able to play him up, because I do believe that Tyreek Hill is going to get superstar status starting in week 9, people who have elite Tyreek Hills are going to buy up these Tua rare cards to play up with their elite stacks, because the stacking is so powerful when they go off together in only a 5-man lineup. If you can score 135 plus points, you have a chance of winning some of these smaller tournaments. And the more you move up in tiers, the smaller the tournament fields become. It's Tony Pollard week. Ezekiel Elliott, unfortunately, injuries suck, right? He suffered a what looked at the time like a hyperextended knee. He did not practice on Wednesday. He did not practice on Thursday. The Cowboys have a bye week next week. I might be assuming rational coaching here and rational roster construction to think that the Cowboys are going to sit out Ezekiel Elliott this week. And in that case, Tony Pollard is unleashed. The last time that he was in this situation where he was the only back for the Dallas Cowboys, he was the RB1 on the week. In that period of time, he is one of the most explosive backs in the league, extremely good in the passing game. You give him all of those inside the 5 carries and a potential for 20 to 25 opportunities, and he's dangerous. As I mentioned before, the floor has melted on Tony Pollard. These were $2 cards over the weekend, the core ones. They're now up to about 10. They may go up. The cheapest one is like $8.50. They may go up to like $11, $12 as a floor by the time the weekend gets here. Rares were like $12 to $15. The floor on the rares is now $44, $45. The elites are up to $300 floor. Legendary sitting at $1,200. Like, this is going to be an extremely popular card. I'm recording this on Thursday. By the time Sunday morning rolls around, and if Ezekiel Elliott is announced as definitely out, as right now being doubtful for Sunday, Tony Pollard's going to be really popular. Everybody's going to go attack him, and for good reason. Alvin Kamara gives you a wide receiver one and a running back one, all wrapped in one card. It's fantastic. 18 targets the last 2 weeks, receiving 9 targets in each game. New Orleans has no chance but to give him the ball as much as possible, with only him and Chris Olave to essentially choose from, with the absence of Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry on the outside. It's enough already with Taysom Hill. Please stop giving him the ball. Just based on volume, explosiveness, and opportunity, Alvin Kamara should have more than the 0 touchdowns that he has so far this year. I want to see that change. It will change in time with the volume that he receives. His price right now on the market is $11 at core. He is a non-superstar, so you can move him up, right? This is a guy that you could play up. If you're a rare player, you can just buy an Alvin Kamara running back for $11 to go with your rare double stack, because you can play that one core card. They have the Dead Fellas tournaments this weekend, so if you're in the Halloween spirit and you wanted to play in the Dead Fellas tournament, grab yourself a Dead Fellas one. The prize pool is like twice the size in the Dead Fellas tournaments that it is in the regular core Fiat Frenzy and the rare Fiat Frenzy as well. As you move up, as always, the price tag moves up as well with it, because smaller fields, larger prize pools, a lot more money to be won at the higher dollar tiers. But get in where you fit in. Do not overspend. Tyreek Hill will most likely get superstar status in week 9. That's when their reshuffle is going to come into play. He certainly has slate breaking ability, is one of the top wide receivers in the league. The rule is in Reignmakers that no pass catcher quarterback combination will both have superstars. You can have a running back and a wide receiver, or a running back and a quarterback on the same team both get superstar status, but they are not going to give superstars to a quarterback and a wide receiver. None of the Miami players have it right now. It's going to change. Week 9, Tyreek Hill will get superstar status, which at the higher tiers, Legendary and Reignmaker, will make a massive difference in the value of his cards, as there is that manufactured scarcity when it comes to the tournaments, as they cannot be played up. You cannot take a Legendary Tyreek Hill and play him up in Remake. You not take an elite Tyreek Hill and move him up to Legendary once he gets superstar status. But right now you can, and everybody's going to take advantage of that for one last week. His cards, $25 at the core level, $93, $90 at the rare tier. Once you get up to elite, it's here. The cards at the highest levels, because of that superstar status incoming, like I mentioned, those are going to rise, while at the lower tiers, core and rare, the card values might stagnate or drop a little bit, because of the fact that they cannot be played up a tier once he gets superstar status in week 9. DeAndre Hopkins had a fantastic week on his first week back from league suspension. His cards were buyable for you a week and a half before that. Right now, the floor has melted and the price has come up to match the performance, especially in the absence of Hollywood Brown, with all of the targets having to head Hopkins' way. 14 targets last week, 10 catches, $25 for a core DeAndre Hopkins. Again, this is going to be a non-superstar who I believe will remain a non-superstar moving forward, unless he has some ridiculous week this week. And I'd be shocked if they just made DeAndre Hopkins after one and a half games a superstar for week 9. So this looks like a card to me that's going to remain a non-superstar and playable, upwards mobile in terms of Reignmakers. $85 for his rare tier card, elite card sitting at about 530. And the final player on the slate, I thought Amon-Ra St. Brown might be somebody who would catch superstar status, but a bye week, injuries sandwiching it on both sides, he might dodge it. Amon-Ra St. Brown might not get superstar status, and that's something that is extremely valuable to people who are holding his cards right now. One of the higher rated plays in week 8 on projection alone, raw projection, median, and ceiling. Correlates very well against the Miami players. You can easily go with a Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua, Amon-Ra St. Brown stack. The Sun God will be popular this week, and rightfully so. As highly as he is projected and as well as he correlates with players on the other side, an extremely powerful lineup build that covers 4 of your spots with all players at the positions that aren't quarterback having ceilings of 25 to 45 DraftKings points. If you wanted to buy in on Amon-Ra, $10 at the core level. It's very easy to build a lineup at core. Like if you're just dipping your toes in now, you can build, like I said, a really good core lineup that is suitable for tournaments that should cash and give you an opportunity at the top 1% in tournaments for like under $70, and all of those cards will be playable in weeks beyond. If you're a rare tier player, $65 to $70, depending on which one you want. Obviously be mindful of serial numbers, as the tiebreaker in Reignmakers is the total sum of the serial numbers. Lower is better, much like golf. If you have 5 players and you have 5 serial number 1s, you will win every case of a tiebreaker in Reignmakers. So focus on the lower serial numbered cards whenever possible if the prices are similar. And good luck to you this weekend with your lineups.
He's a legend.